Hello, dear friends, and welcome to this amazing story. Today, we are going to talk about the life of Narendra Modi, the current Prime Minister of India. His story is not just about politics. It is about hope, hard work, and never giving up. Imagine a little boy from a poor family selling tea on train platforms to help his family. No one could imagine that one day, this boy would grow up and become the leader of the world's largest democracy. It sounds like a movie, right? But this is real life. Narendra Modi's journey teaches us that dreams are not limited by where you are born. They are built by courage, discipline, and passion. In this story, we will walk through different parts of his life. From his childhood struggles, to his teenage years, his entry into politics, his rise in leadership, and finally, becoming the Prime Minister of India. So sit back, relax, and let's begin this inspiring journey together. Part 1. Childhood and Family. Narendra Modi was born on September 17, 1950, in a small town called Vadnagar, in the state of Gujarat, India. His family was very poor and belonged to a lower caste community. Life was not easy at all. His father's name was Damodardas Modi, and his mother's name was Hiraban Modi. They had 6 children, and Narendra was the third child. His father ran a small tea stall at the local railway station. To support the family, little Narendra also helped his father. He would often wake up early in the morning, go with his father to the tea stall, and serve tea to passengers who were waiting for their trains. Later, as he grew a little older, he even opened his own small tea stall with his brother near a bus stand. This experience of selling tea became a big part of his identity. Many years later, when he entered politics, people called him the Chaiwala Prime Minister, which means the tea seller Prime Minister. It became a symbol of his humble beginnings and his connection to ordinary people. But life was not just about work. Narendra was a curious and active child. He loved learning and had a sharp memory. Even though his family did not have much money, he studied hard in school. His teachers noticed that he was different from other students. He was not only intelligent, but also very disciplined. Young Narendra also showed interest in activities outside school. He loved drama and theater. In fact, he often took part in school plays. Once, he played the role of a king in a play, and his performance impressed the audience. These small experiences later helped him in public speaking and connecting with people. Another important part of his childhood was his love for nature and spirituality. Even as a young boy, he would wake up early, go to the local pond, and practice yoga. He also spent time in the library reading stories about great leaders, saints, and warriors of India. This shaped his thinking and gave him big dreams. However, childhood was not always easy. His family sometimes struggled to have enough food. Clothes, toys, and luxuries were not part of his life. But instead of complaining, Narendra learned the value of hard work and self-reliance. His mother, Hiraban, played a very important role in his life. She was a simple woman, full of kindness and wisdom. She always taught her children to live honestly, work hard, and never lose hope. Narendra was very close to her, and throughout his life, he often mentioned how much her lessons guided him. By the time he was a teenager, Narendra had already developed a strong character. He was hardworking, disciplined, and very determined. He believed that even a poor boy could do something great if he worked hard enough. This was the foundation of his journey. From a small tea stall in Gujarat to the highest political seat in India, the story had just begun. Part 2. Teenage years and first steps into politics. As Narendra Modi grew older, life continued to be challenging, but his determination only became stronger. By the time he was a teenager, he had already learned many lessons from his childhood: discipline, hard work, and self-reliance. These qualities made him stand out from other boys of his age. In school, Narendra was not just an ordinary student. He was very active in debates and enjoyed speaking in front of people. He was also curious about the world outside his small town. He often wondered how societies worked, how leaders made decisions, and why some people suffered while others lived in comfort. These questions made him think deeply about life and about the future of his country. Around this time, India was going through many changes. The country had gained independence in 1947, just a few years before Modi was born. But even after independence, there were many problems: poverty, inequality, corruption, and lack of development. Young Narendra could see these issues in his own life and community. This gave him a sense of responsibility. He wanted to do something for society. One of the turning points in his teenage years came when he became connected with the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS, a volunteer Hindu nationalist organization. The RSS worked on building discipline, unity, and a sense of service among young people. Narendra was very attracted to their ideas of hard work and devotion to the nation. He began attending their local meetings, wearing the simple uniform of the RSS, and taking part in activities such as morning drills, group discussions, and social service. Through the RSS, Narendra discovered his passion for leadership. He was not afraid to take responsibility. He was also a great organizer. Even as a young boy, he could plan events, motivate people, and bring them together for a common cause. His natural leadership skills started to shine. But his journey was not without sacrifices. At the age of 18, something very personal happened in his life. In traditional Indian culture, it was common for children to be married at a very young age. Narendra's family arranged his marriage to a girl named Jashodaben. However, Modi was not ready to settle into family life. He had different dreams. He wanted to serve the nation. So, soon after the marriage, he chose to leave home and dedicate himself to a larger cause. This was a very bold decision for someone so young. After leaving home, Narendra traveled across India. These journeys were very important in shaping his personality. He visited the Himalayas, where he spent time with monks and saints, learning about meditation and spirituality. He also traveled to other parts of the country, observing how people lived, what problems they faced, and how different cultures came together. These experiences gave him a deep understanding of India's diversity and challenges. When he returned, he threw himself fully into the work of the RSS. He became a prakarak, or full-time worker, which meant he had to live a simple life, with no personal possessions, and dedicate all his time to serving the organization and the people. Narendra Modi accepted this lifestyle with discipline and devotion. During his time with the RSS, he worked on various projects, helping poor communities, organizing camps for young people, assisting in relief efforts during floods, and spreading messages of unity and hard work. People noticed his energy, passion, and ability to connect with others. Slowly, he became an important figure in the organization. One of the strongest qualities young Modi showed was his ability to communicate with people. Whether he was speaking to farmers, students, or ordinary workers, he could inspire them with simple words. He was not a rich man, not from a powerful family, but people felt that he understood their struggles. This connection with the masses would later become his greatest strength in politics. By the late 1970s, Narendra Modi had already built a reputation as a committed and hard-working RSS member. His journey from a tea seller to a dedicated social worker showed that he was ready for bigger responsibilities. At this stage, he was preparing for the next step, moving from social work to active politics. The boy who once sold tea on railway platforms was slowly becoming a leader whose voice people wanted to hear. This was just the beginning of his political journey. The foundation was strong: discipline from his childhood, courage from his teenage years, and experience from his travels and RSS work. The stage was now set for Narendra Modi to enter the world of Indian politics. Part 3: Entering Politics and the Rise in BJP. After many years of working with the RSS, Narendra Modi had become known as a dedicated and disciplined volunteer. His ability to organize events, motivate people, and work long hours impressed many senior leaders. Naturally, his skills brought him closer to politics, because the RSS was strongly connected with the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, a political party that promoted similar ideas of nationalism and cultural pride. In the early 1980s, Modi officially joined the BJP. This was the beginning of his real political journey. At first, he worked behind the scenes. He was not a famous leader standing on a stage yet. Instead, he worked as an organizer, planning campaigns, arranging events, and managing people. His organizational skills made him a valuable asset to the party. One of his first big tasks came in 1987, when the BJP needed help during the Ahmedabad municipal elections in Gujarat. Modi's planning and energy helped the party achieve significant success. This victory gave him recognition as someone who could make a difference. Party leaders started to notice his talent. As the BJP grew stronger across India in the late 1980s and early 1990s, Modi's role also expanded. He was asked to handle responsibilities outside Gujarat as well. He traveled to different states, met with local leaders, and helped design strategies for the party. His ability to understand people's needs and turn them into political action made him stand out. During this period, Modi also improved his public speaking skills. He knew that communication was the key to politics. His speeches were simple, clear, and emotional. He didn't use complicated words. Instead, he spoke in a way that ordinary people could easily connect with. Slowly, crowds started to gather to listen to him. By the mid-1990s, Modi was becoming one of the rising stars of the BJP. He played an important role in strengthening the party's base in Gujarat. He was also known for his discipline. He worked long hours, lived simply, and avoided luxuries. While many politicians were famous for corruption or wealth, Modi was different. He presented himself as a leader of the people, someone who understood their struggles. In 1995, the BJP achieved a historic victory in the Gujarat State Assembly elections. This was a turning point, and Modi was credited for his behind-the-scenes work in strategy and organization. By now, he was no longer just a volunteer. He was a key leader in the party's growth. But it was not only about politics. Modi also showed leadership during difficult times. In 2001, Gujarat faced a massive earthquake in the city of Bhuj. Thousands of people died, and many more were left homeless. The disaster shook the entire state. At that time, Modi worked tirelessly to support relief efforts. He organized resources, motivated volunteers, and coordinated with the government. His commitment during this crisis impressed both the people and the party leadership. That same year, something unexpected happened. The then Chief Minister of Gujarat, Keshabai Patel, resigned because of health issues and political challenges. The BJP needed a new leader for the state. To many people's surprise, the party chose Narendra Modi. On October 7, 2001, Modi was sworn in as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. For Modi, this was a huge step. From a tea seller's son to the Chief Minister of an Indian state, it was a powerful story. But it was also a big challenge. Many people doubted him. They thought he had no experience in running a government. But Modi accepted the challenge with confidence. As Chief Minister, Modi focused on development. He wanted Gujarat to grow in terms of industry, infrastructure, and investment. He invited business leaders, improved electricity supply, and worked on building roads and modern facilities. Slowly, Gujarat began to be seen as a model of growth in India. Of course, his time as chief minister was not without controversy. In 2002, Gujarat faced one of the darkest moments in its history: communal riots between Hindus and Muslims. Hundreds of people died, and the violence created deep wounds in society. Modi was criticized for his handling of the situation. For many years, This event remained a shadow over his political career. But despite the criticism, he continued to grow stronger in politics. By the late 2000s, Modi's reputation as a leader who could bring development became very strong. Business leaders praised him, and many ordinary people admired his energy and leadership style. Within the BJP, he was seen as one of the most powerful leaders, not just in Gujarat, but also on the national stage. The boy who once sold tea had now become a powerful chief minister. But this was not the end of his journey. A bigger stage was waiting, the leadership of the entire nation. Part 4. The Road to Becoming Prime Minister. By the late 2000s, Narendra Modi was no longer just the chief minister of Gujarat. He had become a national figure. His leadership in Gujarat, especially his focus on development and economic growth, gave him a strong reputation. Business leaders praised him for creating a state that was friendly to investment and industry. Media often called it the Gujarat model of development. At the same time, the central government of India, led by the Congress Party, was facing criticism. Many people were frustrated with corruption scandals, slow economic growth, and weak leadership. Ordinary citizens were looking for a leader who could bring change, hope, and energy to the country. Within the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, leaders began to see Modi as the right person to take the party forward. He had popularity among the people, a strong image as a decisive leader, and a powerful story of rising from poverty. However, some members of the party were hesitant. They worried about the controversies from the 2002 Gujarat riots. But Modi's popularity was growing too fast to be ignored. In 2013, the BJP officially announced Narendra Modi as their candidate for prime minister in the upcoming 2014 general elections. This was a historic moment. For the first time, a tea seller's son was aiming for the highest political seat in India. His campaign slogan was simple but powerful: Ek din ain wale hain, good days are coming. Modi's campaign was unlike anything India had seen before. He used modern technology, social media, and huge rallies to connect with people across the country. He traveled tirelessly, addressing hundreds of rallies, sometimes more than 4 or 5 in a single day. He used 3D hologram technology to appear in multiple places at once, which amazed people. His speeches were full of energy and hope. He spoke directly to the youth, farmers, workers, and business owners. He promised jobs, development, strong governance, and a corruption-free India. One of his biggest strengths was his personal story. He reminded people that he was not from a rich or powerful family. He was one of them, an ordinary Indian who had struggled, worked hard, and risen step by step. This message touched the hearts of millions of Indians. The 2014 general election became one of the largest democratic exercises in the world. When the results were announced, it was clear Narendra Modi had won a landslide victory. The BJP secured a majority on its own, something that had not happened in Indian politics for decades. Modi was sworn in as the 14th Prime Minister of India on May 26, 2014. For Modi, this was a dream come true. From selling tea at railway stations in Gujarat to becoming the Prime Minister of the world's largest democracy, it was one of the most inspiring journeys in modern history. His story gave hope to millions of poor and middle-class Indians, showing them that nothing is impossible. As Prime Minister, Modi immediately began pushing forward his vision. He launched several ambitious programs. Make in India, to encourage manufacturing and industry. Digital India, to expand internet access and technology. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Clean India Mission to improve cleanliness and sanitation across the country. Jan Dhan Yojana, to open bank accounts for millions of poor families. He also worked on improving India's image abroad. Modi traveled to many countries, meeting world leaders, and presenting himself as a strong and confident leader of India. His ability to connect with the Indian diaspora abroad made him even more popular. However, leadership also came with challenges. His government faced criticism for some policies, such as demonetization in 2016, which removed high-value currency notes overnight to fight corruption. While some praised it as bold, others criticized it for causing difficulties to ordinary people. Similarly, his government's decisions on issues like Kashmir and citizenship laws also created debates and protests. Despite these controversies, Modi's popularity remained strong. In fact, when the next general election came in 2019, the BJP won an even bigger victory. This confirmed that Modi was one of the most powerful and popular leaders in India's modern history. From a boy who helped his father sell tea, to a leader admired by millions, Modi's rise to the prime ministership was a story of ambition, hard work, and resilience. But his journey did not stop there. As prime minister, he still had new challenges to face, new dreams to achieve, and a legacy to create for the future of India. Part 5. Achievements, Challenges, and Recent Years. After becoming prime minister in 2014, Narendra Modi began working with incredible energy. His vision was clear. He wanted to make India stronger, cleaner, more modern, and respected in the world. Over the years, his leadership has been marked by both achievements and challenges. Let's take a closer look. One of Modi's most famous missions was the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Clean India mission. He launched it in 2014 with the goal of making India cleaner and healthier. Millions of toilets were built across the country, especially in villages where sanitation was poor. This helped reduce diseases and improve the dignity of many families, especially women. Another important program was Digital India. Modi wanted to connect every Indian with technology. He encouraged people to use mobile phones for banking, education, and healthcare. Under this program, internet access expanded rapidly, and India became one of the largest markets for digital services. He also introduced Make in India, a campaign to turn India into a global hub for manufacturing. The idea was to create jobs for the youth and reduce dependence on imports. Many international companies started investing in India as a result. In the financial sector, Modi launched the Jan Dhan Yojana scheme, which allowed millions of poor Indians to open bank accounts for the first time. This brought them into the formal economy and helped them save money safely. Modi's government also focused on renewable energy, especially solar power. India became a leader in the International Solar Alliance, promoting clean energy across the world. On the global stage, Modi built strong relationships with world leaders. He visited the United States, Japan, China, Europe, and the Middle East, presenting India as a rising power. His ability to connect with Indian communities abroad made him very popular among the diaspora. In defense, India took bold steps under his leadership, including modernizing the armed forces and carrying out surgical strikes against terrorism. These actions built his image as a strong and decisive leader. However, being prime minister of a country as large and diverse as India was not easy. Modi faced many challenges. In 2016, he announced a sudden policy called demonetization. High-value currency notes were banned overnight to fight black money and corruption. While some praised the move as bold, many ordinary people suffered. Long queues outside banks, loss of jobs, and confusion created problems for millions. In 2017, his government introduced the Goods and Services Tax, GST, a single tax system for the whole country. It simplified the tax structure, but small businesses struggled in the beginning. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 was another big challenge. At first, India struggled with shortages of medical equipment, oxygen, and hospital space. But later, Modi's government launched one of the world's largest vaccination drives, producing vaccines in India and distributing them to millions of people. Modi also faced criticism for being too strict in some policies. His government's decisions about Kashmir in 2019, removing its special status, created debates and tension. The Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA, also led to protests, as many people felt it discriminated against minorities. Despite these criticisms, Modi's popularity remained high. His supporters admired his energy, discipline, and ability to speak directly to the people. They saw him as a leader who was honest, hardworking, and connected to the common man. In 2019, India held its general elections again. Modi and the BJP campaigned with even more energy. Their slogan this time was "Main Be Chowkidar, I too am a watchman," showing Modi as a protector of the nation. The results were historic. The BJP won an even bigger majority than in 2014. Modi became prime minister for a second term, proving that his popularity was stronger than ever. Modi in recent years. During his second term, Modi focused on making India self-reliant through his program Atmanirbhar Bharat, Self-Reliant India. He encouraged local manufacturing, innovation, and entrepreneurship. His government also promoted digital payments, making India one of the fastest-growing digital economies in the world. In foreign policy, Modi continued to strengthen India's ties with global powers. He hosted major international events, invited world leaders to India, and positioned the country as a key player in global affairs. At the same time, his government worked on infrastructure, building highways, airports, and expanding metro systems in cities. Rural areas also saw growth in electricity, housing, and clean water supply. Despite all the progress, challenges remain: unemployment, inequality, and social divisions. Critics say his leadership sometimes focuses too much on image and less on solving deep-rooted problems. But supporters believe he has transformed India's global image and given hope to millions. Narendra Modi's journey from a tea seller to prime minister is already legendary. For many Indians, he represents the power of hard work and self-belief. His life proves that no dream is too big if you have the courage to chase it. As history writes the story of Narendra Modi, one thing is clear: he is a symbol of possibility. For many young people, his life is proof that no dream is too big and no background is too small. From tea seller to prime minister, his path inspires hope, courage, and belief in the power of dreams. Whether you agree with his politics or not, his journey has already become part of modern history. Future generations will remember him as the leader who rose against the odds and changed India's story. Dear friends, thank you for joining me on this inspiring journey through the life of Narendra Modi. We started from his childhood days in a small town, moved through his teenage years of struggle and discovery, followed his rise in the BJP, witnessed his historic election victories, and finally saw his achievements and challenges as prime minister. This story is not only about one leader, it is also a lesson for all of us. Never let your background decide your destiny. With hard work, courage, and discipline, you can write your own story, just like Narendra Modi did. So what do you think about Modi's journey? Which part of his life inspired you the most? Was it his humble childhood, his fearless decision to serve the nation, or his rise to become one of the most powerful leaders in the world? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring and educational stories. Your support helps us bring more content like this for English learners and dreamers across the world. Together, let's keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in the power of stories. Thank you, and see you in the next video.